The World Championship is just concluded. Congrats to Glory as our new World Champion. But with that, we also got expected news of a new and very big balance patch. In this video, I'm gonna walk you guys over the changes and the biggest winners and the biggest losers of this patch. Here, as you can see on the image provided to me by Hearthstone Top Decks, you can see there are some pretty significant changes to Demon Hunters and Hunters. I'll walk you through each one individually. First off, we have Blade Dance from 2 to 3 mana. This doesn't look too significant, but I think it's pretty huge for the Demon Hunter deck that utilizes Blade Dance. This is your main removal spell and a card you're reliant on very heavily in a lot of matchups, and also those decks usually are already super tight on mana on each of these turns. I think together with some of the other changes, this is gonna hurt Soul Demon Hunters matchups against aggressive decks. Next up we have Dreadlord's Bite, which got a power change from 3 power to 2 power. This is basically to try and limit the reach that the aggro Demon Hunter has in the later stages of the game and try to focus more on the early game. Together with the 2 changes with on Polkelt and Voracious Reader, I think that this is gonna hurt the archetype quite a lot, even though I still think it's gonna be somewhat playable, but not the force it was before. Shardshedder Mystic, moving up to 4 mana, means that Soul Demon Hunter now more has problems to deal with wide boards. With both Blade Dance and Shardshedder nerfed, I think that Soul Demon Hunter is gonna get some real weaknesses and is gonna rely more on Bladed Lady for clearing boards, basically. Then we have probably the biggest change of them all in Dino Tamer Bran. Dino Tamer Bran moving from 7 to 8 mana is huge, and I think could potentially even just kill Highlander Hunter as an archetype as a whole. I don't think that Highlander Hunter was too great to begin with, but with Dino Tamer Bran at 8 mana just means that the King Crush finish you have get down so much slower, and it was a very, very important piece to your deck. That together with Polket going up to 5, which is also huge for the deck, I think that Highlander Hunter players might have a bad time in this new patch. Second to last, we have Lorekeeper Polket up to 5 mana. Polket was probably one of the strongest neutral legendaries and is the centerpiece of a lot of decks, both aggro and combo decks. The card has been insanely powerful, and I think this was just a matter of time until we saw Polket move up in mana a bit. I think this hurts the aggro decks relying on Polket more than it hurts the combo decks. A lot of the combo decks already wanted to play Polket on 5 more often than not, so I think that OTK Demon Hunter, for example, kinda goes pretty unscathed out of this nerf, although it still hurts with Blade Dance nerfed as well. Highlander Hunter and Aggro Demon Hunter gets really hurt by this nerf, and but the decks still have other strong tools to them, but basically it gives them some real weaknesses. I really like this change, but Polket is still gonna see play. Maybe be good in different decks, I think. And last up, 2 mana Jeeves Voracious Reader was just a bit too good to be true, as many people predicted. Voracious Reader up to 3 mana is insanely big, since it's usually played in decks that wants to empty their hand real quick, and now playing a 1/3 for 3 mana, it's still good reload, but it's definitely not the card it was before, and I expect that to be a huge hit to the aggressive decks. All in all, I think that some of these cards are still very playable. I think that Blade Dance, Mystic, Bite, Polket, and Reader are very playable cards, and Dino Tamer Bran probably still is, but that's for sure the card that might be the least playable. If you want some more insights from the developers, I can really recommend checking out Alec Dawson's Twitter. He is working on the team that does these changes, and he explains why they made certain changes in his Twitter thread. I'll drop a link in the description. So where are we going from here then? Well, I think that it's undeniable that both Hunter and Demon Hunter took some huge hits. And while I think that at least Demon Hunter is still gonna be somewhat of a force to be reckoned with, it's not gonna be close to as strong as it was before, which means that naturally the decks that were being targeted by the Demon Hunters are gonna rise in popularity in power level, and these are the decks that I would recommend. The biggest winner, and what I think is gonna be the best deck, is unsurprisingly the Broom Paladin. The logic behind this is that the Aggro Demon Hunter was the deck's worst matchup, and by quite a lot. On top of that, Soul Demon Hunter was pretty good, but it wasn't great. But going past that, I think that these changes, while hurting Hunter and Demon Hunter, it's gonna make decks like Warrior and Rogue rise a lot in popularity. On top of its weak matchups getting worse, I also think that its strong matchups are getting stronger, which means that Warrior, for example, didn't get any changes in this patch, which is a great matchup for Paladin. Rogue is also very, very manageable if you run the Argent Braggarts in the deck. And overall, I just think that it looks like Paladin is well situated for not only the direct changes, but also for the meta that should form after these changes. As for the list I'm recommending, this is the one that we helped Jarla prepare for the World Championship that he got second with. I think that this list is incredibly good and is better than the other Paladin lists that seem to be a little bit more popular running around at the moment. The second deck I think is going to get really strong for these changes is Evolved Shaman. The deck's worst matchups was by far the aggressive decks and the Aggro Demon Hunter in particular. Now, with the Aggro Demon Hunter getting so much weaker, I think that the staying power that Evolved Shaman has in slower matchups is gonna be quite significant. And I think that it's gonna be, if not already a very good deck, an even better deck in the new meta. I'll drop the deck code for both these decks in the description to the video as well. Some people might find it weird that I don't pick Warrior, since the deck went pretty... didn't get a single nerf to it in this patch. Basically, the idea of why I don't pick Warrior as one of the standout decks of this patch is because I think it's gonna have pretty poor matchups against the decks that rise up. As a result of this, Warriors were good at preying on Demon Hunters, and all of a sudden that matchup they already got worse, as well as being bad against the Paladins and the Shamans that should rise in popularity. So I still think Warrior is going to be good, of course, like it's one of the top decks that get nerfed, but that's why I didn't include it in the video. I'll keep this kind of short because, well, I'm excited about the patch and I don't want to give you guys everything away. We're going to explore with the new patch on stream in the upcoming week, so follow me on Twitch if you want to see more of the post-patch experiments. I also didn't cover the Battlegrounds and Duels changes because I feel like that's really not my area of expertise. But if you guys have suggestions, if you guys want me to cover that sort of stuff in the future, or if it was something that I missed in this video to cover, let me know in the comment section, and like, all feedback is greatly appreciated. And again, I am still kind of new. We've been growing so much on this channel, but please click that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. Well, I'll see you on the new patch. Until then, bye.